Good morning, students. Today we are discussing about the internet and the World Wide Web. Before that, what is the internet? Even if you have not had a lot of experience with computers, it would not be surprising to learn that you have been on the internet. In the past few years, millions of people have gone online, and some of them probably thought they would never have a use of computer. But what is the internet? Simply put, the internet is network of networks, a global communication system that links together thousands of individual networks. The internet is a network of networks, a global communication system that links together thousands of individual networks. The internet become so important that its use is considered an essential part of computer use. In other words, mastering the internet is one of the first things you should do if you want to get the most from the computing experience. In this chapter, you will get an overview of the internet by reviewing its history, the basics of the World Wide Web, and browser use. The main objectives of internet, the internet's creations. Another objective is identify 6 major services you can access through the internet. Another objective is name 3 ways in the people commonly use the internet. Next objective is use a web browser to navigate the World Wide Web. These are the main objectives of internet. Before that, what is the internet's history? No introduced to the internet is complete without a short review of its history. Even though today's internet bears little resemblance to its forebear of 30 plus years ago, it still functions is basically the same way. The beginning, a network of networks. The seeds of the internet were planted in 1969 when the Advanced Research Project Agency ARPA of the US Department of Defense began connecting to computers at different universities and defense contractors, etc. The resulting network was called ARPA nets. The goal of this early project was to create a large computer network with multiple paths in the form of telephone lines that could survive a nuclear attack or natural disaster such as earthquake. If one part of the network were destroyed, other parts of the network would remain functional and data could continue to flow through the surveying lines. ARPA had a second important reason for creating such a network, that is, it would allow people in remote locations to share secure computing resources. By being part of internet, these users could access faraway systems such as governmental mainframes or university owned supercomputers and conduct research or communicate with other users. At first, ARPANET was basically a large network surveying only a handful of users, but it expanded rapidly. Initially, the network included 4 primary host computers. A host like a network server providing services to other computers that connect to it. ARPANET's host computers like those on today's internet provided file transfer and communication services and gave connected systems access to the network's high-speed data lines. The system grew quickly and spread widely as the number of hosts grew. The network jumped across the Atlantic to Europe in 1973 and it never stopping growing. In the mid 1980s, another federal agency, the National Science Foundation (NSF), joined the project after the Defense Department stopped funding the network. NSF, National Science Foundation, established 5 supercomputing centers that were available to anyone who wanted to use for academic research purposes. The NSF expected the supercomputers users to use ARPANET to obtain access, but the agency quickly discovered that the existing network could not handle the load. In response, the NSF created a new higher capacity network called NSFNet. To complement the older to complement the older and by then overloaded ARPANET. The link between ARPANET, NSFNet, and other networks was called Internet. The process connecting separate networks is called internetworking. A collection of networked networks is described as being internet worked, which is where the internet, a worldwide network of networks, gets its name. NSFNet made internet connections widely available for academic research, but the NSF did not permit users to conduct private businesses over this system. Therefore, several private telecommunications companies built their own network backbones that used the same set of networking protocols as NSFNet. Like a tree's trunk or animal's spine, a network backbone is a central structure that connects other elements of the network. These private portions of the internet were not limited by NSF nets. Appropriate use restrictions, so it became possible to use the internet to distribute businesses and commercial information. The original ARPANET was shut down in 1990s and government funding for NSFNet was disconnected in 1995, but the commercial internet backbone services replaced them. By the early 1990s, interest in the internet began to expand dramatically. The system that had been created as a tool for surveying a nuclear war found its way into business and homes. Now, advertisements for movies are more common online than collaboration on physics research. Today, still growing. Today, the internet connects thousands of networks and hundreds of millions of users around the world. It is a huge corporate community with no central ownership. This lack of ownership is an important feature of the internet because it means that no single person or group of controls the network. There are several organizations such as Internet Society and the World Wide Web that propose standard for internet related technologies and guidelines for its appropriate use. These organizations almost universally support the internet's opens and lack of centralized control. As a result, the internet is open to anyone who can access it. If you can use a computer and if the computer is connected to the internet, you are free not only to use the resources posted by others, but to create resources of your own. That is, you can publish documents on the World Wide Web, exchange email messages, and perform many other tasks. This opens has attracted millions of users to the internet. Internet access was available to nearly 1 of billion people worldwide in 2001. The number of actual users continues in climbed dramatically as shown in 2000 year 124 millions of people's users of internet. In 2001 142.8 millions. In 2002 152.8 internet users. In 2003 162 millions of internet users. In 2004 174.9 internet users. In 2005 and 2006 year 174.9 internet users are using the internet. The internet's major services. What are the internet major services? The internet acts as a carrier for several different services, each with its own distinct features and purpose. The most commonly used internet services are the World Wide Web, that is www, email, that is electronic mail, news, FTP, file transfer protocol, chat, instant messaging, online services, P2P services. To use any of these services, you need a computer that is connected to the internet in some way. Most individual users connect their computer's modem to a telephone line and set up an account with an internet service provider ISP, a company that provides local or regional access to the internet backbone. Many other users connect to the internet through a school or business network. To use a specific service, you also need the right type of software. Some programs enable to use multiple internet services, so you do not necessarily need separate applications for each service. Understanding the World Wide Web. What is understanding the World Wide Web? The World Wide Web, also known as Web or WWW, was created in 1989 at the European Practical Physics Laboratory in Geneva, Switzerland, as a method for incorporating footnotes, figures, and cross references into online documents. The web's creators wanted to create a simple way to access any document that was stored on a network. Without having to search through indexes or directories of files, and without having to manually copy documents from one computer to another before viewing them. The established a way to link documents that were stored in different locations on a single computer or on different computers on a network. If you imagine a collection of billions of documents all stored in different places but all linked together in some manner, you might imagine them creating a web of interconnected information. If you extend that collection of documents and their links to cover the entire globe, you have World Wide Web of information. This concept is where the web gets its name. Many people believe that the web and the internet are the same thing, but this is not correct. In fact, they are two different things. The web is a service that is supported by the internet. How the web works. Web documents can be linked together because they are created in a format known as hypertext. Hypertext systems provide an easy way to manage large collection of data, which can include text files, pictures, sounds, movies, and more. In a hypertext system, when you view a document on your computer screen, you also can access all the data that might be linked to it. So, if the document is a description of honeybees, you might be able to click hypertext link and see a photo of believe, behave, or a movie of bees gathering pollen from flowers. To support hypertext documents, the web user uses a special protocol called Hypertext Transfer Protocol or HTTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. A hypertext document is specially encoded file that uses the hypertext markup language or HTML. This language allows a document's author to embed hypertext links, also called hyperlinks or just links, in the document. HTTP and hypertext links are the foundation of World Wide Web. So, you read a hypertext document more commonly called a web page. Hypertext document more commonly called a web page. On screen you can click a word or picture encoded as a hypertext link and immediately jump to another location within the same document or to a different web page. The second page may be located on the same computer as the original page or anywhere else on the internet, because you do not have to learn separate commands and addresses to jump to a new location. The World Wide Web organizes widely scattered resources into a seamless whole. A collection of related web pages is called a website. Websites are housed on web servers, internet host computers that often store thousands of individual pages. Copying a web page onto a server is called publishing the page, but the process also called posting or uploading. Web pages are used to distribute news, interactive educational services, product information catalogs, highway traffic reports, and live audio, video, and other kinds of information. Web pages permit readers to consult databases, order product and information, and submit payment with a credit card or an account number. Web browser and HTML tags. For several years, the web remained an interesting but not particularly existing tool used by scientific researchers. But in 1993, developers at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications NCSA created a mosaic, a point and click web browser. A web browser is a software application designed to find hypertext documents on the web and then open the documents on the user's computer. A point and click browser provides a graphical user interface that enables the user to click hyperlinked text and images to jump to the other document. Several text-based web browsers are also available and are used in non-graphical operating systems, such as certain versions of Unix. Mosaic and web browsers that evolved from it have changed the way people use the internet. Today, the most popular graphical web browsers are Microsoft Internet Explorer, next we discuss about URLs. URLs means Uniform Resource Locator. The Hypertext Transfer Protocol uses internet addresses in a special format called a Uniform Resource Locator or URL. The Hypertext Transfer Protocol uses internet addresses in a special format called a Uniform Resource Locator, that is URL. URL look like this: type :/ addresses / path. This is URL path. In URL, type specifies the type of server in which the file is located. Addresses is the address of the server and path is the location within the file structure of the server. The path includes the list of folders where the desired file, that is the web page is itself or some other piece of data, is located. Consider the URL for a page at the Library of Congress website. Which contains information about the library's collection of permanent exhibits. If you are looking for a HTML document, that is a web page named Exhibition Overview at this website, its URL would like this: http www.locdat.gov/exhibits/tr66.html. Because URLs lead to specific documents on a server's disk, they can be extremely long. However, every single document on the World Wide Web has its own unique URL. This is the URL. The next class we discuss about multimedia content in applications using your browser and the World Wide Web, using hyperlinks, using browser navigation tools, searching the web, etc. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.